So now that Lightfall has been out for quite a few days and people are getting their hands on build crafting, we have seen some of the craziest builds that we've ever seen in Destiny history. Now, one of the things you're going to notice that people continue to talk about with every new expansion or sandbox update that we continue to see is the overall effectiveness of how those changes are going to affect supers inside of the game. Now, rather than try to discuss those specific impacts, instead, I actually want to bring up a crazy but brand new conceptual idea of how we can approach supers leading out of Lightfall and putting build crafting really at the center of what these supers can truly do. I have 3 specific supers that we're going to talk about, and I would love to get your comments in the video description below. You never know, it could even end up in Bungie's hands for open discussion. If you guys enjoyed this video and look forward to more Destiny 2 Lightfall content, whether it is builds, gameplay, or just general goofiness, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, turn on those notifications to know when the next videos will be live. So to start, I want to focus on 3 specific supers. We're going to talk about the Warlock's Well of Radiance, the Titan's Word of Dawn, and of course, the Hunter's Deadfall Shadow Shot. So these 3 supers specifically are known really throughout the game for their non-roaming defensive buff and debuff capabilities more than actually roaming for damage than any other super in the game. Now, we constantly see new builds being made almost every single day, and especially with new expansions like Lightfall or any sandbox update whenever any new season comes out in the game. Now, with Lightfall coming out, that got me thinking, what if we did something new with supers that's never been done before? What if instead of building around your super like we've been doing since the inception of Destiny 1, what if instead you built into your super? Now, what I mean by that is essentially overhauling these 3 specific supers to giving players actual control over how that super is actually used in the game. Think of it as a customizable super, if you will. Now, this is where build crafting truly takes place. Now, let's use Well of Radiance, for example. What if instead of just putting the Well of Radiance down on the ground and giving you a buff, what if it actually did something more? What if it gave you a certain damage type increase? Or what if it affected certain types of weapons, or subclasses, or weapon types in general, maybe even armor stats? What if it was customized to be able to provide a specific benefit per encounter rather than just a blanket buff and defensive position just for slamming it on the ground wherever you're at? Or what about Ward of Dawn? What if instead of just putting Ward of Dawn down, what if it actually is customizable to take less damage from certain subclass types, or different damage types, or specific weapon types? What about customizing the health in exchange for the time that the Ward of Dawn is active? Now, let's say you can customize the Hunter's Deadfall Shadow Shot to increase its tether length, maybe even increasing certain mod effectiveness when somebody or something is tethered by Shadow Shot. See, the whole premise of this video is that when thinking about supers from the whole end, we tend to think of supers as much more static and usable in certain situations, but they're not really customizable to a full benefit outside of the armor mods or the armor stats that we tend to use, or the exotic weapons that we tend to equip based on the essential need. Now, we're naturally still going to do that. We're going to use specific armor pieces for whatever supers we're going to use, and these 3 are obviously no exception. But the premise of this right now is that build crafting is becoming so much more focal of a point, especially with Lightfall coming in, that now we can start to see whether or not we can really adjust or overhaul supers to build into that build crafting instead of around it, where we tend to focus on making changes based on what the super can do rather than what the super is going to do based on the choices that we make. And again, this is an entirely new approach to build crafting that has never been done before, and it is purely conceptual. This is not a thing that's actually live in the game. I just wanted to open up the discussion and get your feedback in the comments below regarding your thoughts on a customizable, fully conceptualized super that ultimately would change the face of build crafting that we know it in Destiny 2. Thank you guys so much again for watching. This is a short video, but if you liked it and look forward to build videos or just any other type of Destiny 2 content, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on those notifications to know when the next video will be live. Thank you for being the reason I get to do what I do, because without you guys, I could not do this. And until the next video, game on.